Hi guys, it's Yes or No. I'm a student at Harvard University. This video is going to be a question and answers video to answer all of your questions. Oh, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, so Afua the Fierce One asks, are you an undergrad? Yes, Afua, I am an undergrad. I am currently a junior at Harvard, so that means I'm in my third year, junior spring, so I'll have about a year and a half left. Agent 007 asks, have you seen Mark Zuckerberg's room? I don't even know which rooms Mark Zuckerberg lived in. But, fun fact, I did live in the same freshman dorm that Bill Gates lived in. So I used to live in that dorm called Wigglesworth. Funny fact about Wigglesworth, it's named after some like old white dead dude, right? But Wigglesworth is located right above the T, which is Boston's metro. So every like 7 minutes, the trains would speed underneath of our house and Wigglesworth would like kind of shake a little bit, you know, kind of wiggle, like really true to its name. Oh, running straight off of that, Shine ESNSDFXQPOP asks, is it compulsory to live on campus your first year at Harvard? Can you continue living on campus for the next few years? So, no, it is not mandatory that you live on campus your first year, but if you decide to, you'll be placed in a dorm around Harvard Yard, which is like pretty much the central part of Harvard's campus. About 98% of all students live on campus all 4 years. After you live in the dorms that first year, you get randomly assigned into like an upperclassman dorm. If the Yard and the freshman dorming is all central, all the upperclassman housing is located just a little bit more spread out from that. So that's currently what I'm doing. Angie Yaya 333 asks, how's the food? Oh dang, this is a tough question. So basically we get fed. Zoe Wills asks, is everyone at Harvard really stuffy and stuck up? Am I really stuffy and stuck up? If you go enough places, you're gonna meet people who are more stuffy and stuck up. The only thing about Harvard is that, yes, you are drawing from, you know, some of the most alpha individuals in the world, so you have a lot of people who kind of believe in their importance, I guess is what I will say. Consider for a second, 16% of the freshman class came from the top 1% of the socioeconomic ladder. So you're getting a lot of people who are at a disconnect with reality. And from that, I think Harvard does proportionally get a lot more stuck up and stuffy individuals, but I think it's all about who you surround yourself with. Okay, so this question from Miss Beauty Diamond, which is totally related, asks, are the people at Harvard boring nerds who are only interested in school stuff and can't party? Yes. No. Okay, so we do party. Most of it is dorm parties, but you can go out to bars, and also there are final clubs, which are basically the equivalent of sororities and fraternities, except Harvard style. I guarantee you, if you go out, something interesting is gonna happen. Okay, so Gilberto Martinez and Kim Hughes both ask, what's your major? Economics. Rasha Nem asks, what's the major of the majority of students studying in Harvard? Economics. Okay, this question's good. It's from Alyssa Quinn. She asks, what are some weird, cool Harvard traditions? Okay, so there are 3 things you need to do before you graduate Harvard. One is pee on the John Harvard statue. Another is that you need to have sex in the stacks of Widener Library. And the third, and I could be wrong, it's either unofficially jumping off the bridge into the Charles River or doing Primal Scream. And Primal Scream is the night right before finals starts, right at midnight, we all strip down naked and we run around Harvard Yard. And you totally think it would be sexual, but it's not at all. It's just everyone releasing like all their tension and, you know, primal screaming. Like that. Chunji Oyaibed asks, have you met any famous Elliott House alumni? For example, Rashida Jones. No, Tunji, I haven't met any famous Elliott alumni, but I have met Yo-Yo Ma twice. The first time I met him, I was wearing my pajama pants because I don't conform to society's standards of what's acceptable or appropriate. Tipong123 asks, hey there, I was wondering how intense/competitive the other students are and if it's easy to keep up with them. Thank you, Tipong, for that question. So when I first got to Harvard, I felt completely behind. Coming from the Midwest and then being transported to this school where you're with like 1,000 Ivy Leaguers and people who have basically been bred for the Ivies since the day they were born, you realize that the education you've gotten hasn't exactly been as up to par as the one that maybe your classmates have gotten. So in that respect, I felt incredibly far behind my fellow classmates, and some days I still do. But as far as competitiveness goes here, I feel like we're much more of a supportive community than one that's trying to like rip at each other's throats. For the most part, I love it here, and I feel like the kids are so supportive, and there have been nights where I'm struggling at like 3 a.m. in the morning and I ask someone, will you please help me on this econ problem set? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? They might not be the most enthusiastic helpers, but they, you know, people aren't competitive in that respect. They'll help you out. Daniela Green asks me, have I ever been to a finals club party? If so, what are they like? Crazy and wild? And also, am I even in a finals club? Answer to that one, no, I am not. But yes, I have been to a finals club party. Finals club, for those of you who don't know, are basically like the Harvard equivalent of fraternities or sororities. Yeah, they get pretty wild, people are dancing, but it's basically like the final club guys don't want to invite other guys into the party, but they will invite as many girls as they want to into the party. So you see about a representation of maybe 80% females and 20% males. It feels really skewed and weird and like basically what the opposite of a sausage fest would feel like. And I don't know, when I've gone to them, I've kind of felt like prey for the guys. So I personally don't like the parties, but I think final clubs are really good for like building community, and I know girls who have been in girl final clubs and guys who are in guy final clubs, and I know they find the community to be like really strong and tight-knit, so that's cool. Okay. Savannah asked me how big was my biggest class and how small was my smallest. So my biggest class that I took was probably Ec 10 with Gregory Mankiw. Sat about maybe like 500 people in that class, so that was humongous. My smallest class that I've ever taken was probably the first French class I ever took here. It had about maybe 12 people in it, and the craziest thing about that class was that I found out halfway through the school year that 3 of the kids in that class were like famous in some way or another, or had like famous connections. One of them was Vera Wang's daughter, another of them was Steve Jobs' nephew, and like the third one was like this child art prodigy who had sold art to Michael Jordan and Colin Powell and stuff. And when I found that out, I was blown away, and that was kind of when it hit me, like I'm going to Harvard. This is not normal. Alright, I'm gonna say a quick goodbye because my camera is flashing at me. This was me being yes or no, answering your questions, honestly, without a script. Talk to me down below in the comments if you loved it or hated it, because I do not know what's gonna come out after editing. So, I will be just as surprised as you are.